Hello and welcome to another episode of the Wee Ball Podcast. I'm Luke Krumich. With me is Tyler DeSena. How we doing, my brother?
Good. I mean, this week of NFL football has been just as weird as the first two somehow, maybe even weirder. It seems that every week something different and weird happens. So I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, how many times can you say weird? Because it's true. The NFL doesn't feel real up to this point. Like, I just don't understand what's going on in any way, shape, or form. And it's not like there's a few surprise teams. No, good teams are bad and bad teams are good. And then good teams are good and bad teams are bad all at the same time. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, teams that we thought that going into this year would be like, I don't know, 5-win teams are blowing out the Chargers. And yes, I'm talking to you, Jacksonville. And I mean, we're having just crazy swings of events. The Raiders are 0-3, going from a team that made the playoffs. A lot of these teams that we expected to be competing for playoff spots look absolutely awful. And then a lot of teams that we expected to be competing for potentially, the number one overall pick are going out and beating teams that we thought would be contending. So, and then we have, the rest of the AFC, which is just a slugfest right now. And then the NFC, where it looks like, are there even 7 capable teams of making the playoffs?
The NFC East is the best division in football right now, and that brings me so much joy. Just so
By like
so
win
much happiness.
percentage?
Yes, by win percentage.
That's so good.
And then it's
Perfect.
the AFC East.
Let's go. Man,
but
the rest of the division's dragging down the Dolphins as usual.
Yeah, it's just weird right now. And like the NFC East is the best division in football without Dak Prescott, and Carson Wentz is one of the starting quarterbacks. Not prime Carson Wentz, now Carson Wentz. It's just strange. Like I don't know what's going on. I don't care to find out anymore.
Yeah, week 1's supposed to be weird in the NFL, but the problem is we've had like 3 week 1s now. It's just weird every week, and this might be the norm.
If this is the norm, I don't think I can cover this sport anymore. I
Me
can't.
neither. I
there's
think
too many storylines.
There's too many storylines, and like this is one of those seasons we're only 3 weeks in, and I'm like, none of this is going to carry over. Like,
yeah,
are we sure any of the teams that are good right now are going to be good next year?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
But even like right now, we can't be confident in any of them.
Yeah, it's something. The NFL is a different animal. But let's just get right into the week because we can spend, all the time we want saying how weird it is. Let's show you why. First off, the Miami Dolphins. We have to talk about them because Tyler and his fanboys will go crazy if we don't. But honestly, I love Tua, so I'm very excited. First of all, he probably should not be able to play football this Thursday or on Sunday because he got rocked and he could not stand up.
The weird thing is that he got checked by independent doctors, and that's what the investigation that's ongoing has turned up. And they said that it wasn't a head injury that he went into the locker room for, and he said that it was his back that retightened up, and he had a back spasm, which was why he fell over when he was getting back up. So
People
it looked really bad. Yeah, they're freaking out about his head, but he's not even on the injury report because of his head. He's on the injury report because of his ankle and his back.
Yeah.
Which happened on the QB sneak. Yeah, it happened on the QB sneak, which I don't know why we're running to a QB sneaks because he's like 5'10", but
listen, 5'10" is almost 2 yards.
Yeah, but when you're under center, it's 0 apparently.
But in all seriousness, hearing Tua and ankle in the same sentence scares me so much as a Bama fan. Like I have flashbacks because of those 2 words.
Every Alabama quarterback needs ankle surgery at some point.
Apparently, that tightrope surgery really does work miracles. I'll tell you.
Apparently, and you know who else is working miracles on Sunday? The Miami Dolphins, and specifically the Sun, apparently, because Bills fans were just nonstop talking about how the Sun is the reason they lost the game and how it's like workplace malpractice that the sun is this bright. What are you talking about? We built the stadium with an equal roof on both sides, but because of the angle the sun comes in at, it doesn't shine on our side of the field. It's not my fault it's a home field advantage, and the Bills still lost the game having 93 plays on offense, so maybe score more than 17 offensive points. But for real, The defense played really well to keep the Bills to only 17 on 93 plays. I understand they were on the field so long, but the fact that they tightened up when they need to is huge. Tua, when he was on the field for like 4 drives, was awesome. I mean, he was slinging the thing as usual. He has been dominant these last 2 weeks. The touchdown to River Craycraft, insane between 3 defenders. The bomb, the Waddle. Tua's just playing outstanding. When we were on the goal line and we ran the ball twice, I was like, why did we take the ball out of Tua's hands? Which if you thought that was something I was going to say before, it's crazy.
Tyler was a Tua hater 2 weeks ago. I have screenshots of this man saying week 1 that Tua is bad and they're not gonna make the playoffs.
I did say that, but I don't know if I said they're not gonna. Did I say this?
You said they're not gonna make the playoffs. That was on FaceTime, so I don't have proof of that. But
that's a fair point. To be fair, I did think that they were gonna be like the 8 seed, but I did not expect Tua through the first 2 years did not show me anything that was like, okay, he's going to, in year 3, elevate into a player that not only is average enough to make this offense succeed, but is playing above average to great football right now and is elevating the offense.
It's almost like you had the worst set of offensive coordinators in football for
I agreed with this take. You know this. I thought our offense was terrible, but I also thought when the offense was set up to succeed, there was somebody under center who was not making plays.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. If you really thought that Tua wasn't gonna be able to do something with this, like make something happen with an offense that favors him so much,
I thought he'd be able to do something. I didn't think that something would be throwing 6 touchdowns against the Ravens and like elevating his team and hitting deep balls at a percentage that like no other quarterback is hitting them right now.
I mean, he literally has the 2 best deep threats in all of football right now.
Yeah, but he still has to put them on him. He doesn't have
that's true.
They're not T. Higgins with their insane catch radius, you know. He doesn't have Randy Moss out there.
Oh my gosh, we're moving on. We're not doing this again.
I'm not talking about the T. Higgins debate. It will not happen.
This is not happening. All right, moving on. So we said the NFL was weird. I don't know what to say about the Packers and the Buccaneers. They're both atrocious.
They're both. I mean, neither team has the roster we really thought they would coming into the season. The Packers we knew had receiver problems, but we're like, maybe Rodgers can make do. And I guess he technically is because they're 2-1, but this is not making do the way that their offense was playing. So, and Tom Brady and the Bucs, Brady looks like he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Nah,
Brady, he's already taking off like every Wednesday. It's getting to the point where we do not know if Tom Brady genuinely wants to do this anymore. So it just wasn't. This was a recipe for disaster of this game.
There you go.
And it was just not a fun watch on any level.
So I don't know if you saw this, but Aaron Rodgers saw something that the Bucs Jumbotron guy gave away. But yeah, that person is getting fired. He gave away something that Aaron Rodgers was able to tell his defense and help them win that football game.
What? I did not see this. It was like some sort of tell that the Bucs defense had?
No, Bucs offense.
Oh, Rodgers told his defense that the Bucs had something.
Yes. And he was able to read it off the Jumbotron and tell his defense, and then it helped them win the game. And he directly credited it afterwards. Like, he was like, yeah, this is what helped us win. The Jumbotron guy helped us win the game.
That's insane.
On the field, he said this. Like, he didn't even wait to get back to his presser and, like, make a joke about it. He just, on the field, was like, yeah, Jumbotron guy, shout out to you. So, Aaron Rodgers is still that guy. Like, just
yeah,
be clear,
but who would have thought, like, that you would have thought that with something like that, we would have gotten like a high scoring game. Who would have thought that Brady and Rodgers, we would ever get to a point where that's like the lowest scoring game of the week?
Yeah. 14-12.
Yeah. It was, I mean, not the lowest scoring game of the week because we had whatever Sunday Night Football was this week, but still.
It was close though.
The fact that Brady and Rodgers got close to Jimmy Garoppolo as one of the quarterbacks, it's just
Jimmy Garoppolo said he got caught on a camera saying all of these plays are trash, man, which
Which
is
means
incredible. When Kyle Shanahan is calling your offensive minded head coach, that's
that's the
incredible.
problem, though. He lost the true mastermind behind his offense. He
No,
lost
dude.
Mike McDaniel, who is the
McDaniel
reason that.
McDaniel is incredible. All right, McDaniel is incredible, and I love McDaniel.
Oh, I love hearing that. You could say that. You could say that again. Hearing a Dolphins
I
coach and
I
incredible in the
wanted
same sentence. It's just
I
no. I'm
wanted
not saying you
McDaniel to
didn't.
the
I'm just saying
Giants.
the fact that he is a Dolphins coach and he's good at his job. It's the first time in my life. So
Yeah, which good for you. I've had good coaches before. Shout out Tom
yeah, Ben
Coughlin.
McAdoo.
I hate you. So moving on, but obviously McDaniel's good, but Shanahan is still Shanahan. Like he should be okay.
As much as I joke, he's still Kyle Shanahan. That system is still unstoppable, pretty much at the
it's
NFL
incredible.
level. Yeah,
and it's hilarious that they didn't. This is still Jimmy Garoppolo's preseason. This is still his training camp. He didn't get reps.
yeah. He had the injury, and then they never really cleared him, and then they like kicked him out of the facility. And then they were like, yeah,
they let him work
you.
with one coach. Like that was it. He didn't work with the OC. He just worked with like their assistant quarterback coach.
I feel so bad for Trey Lance in this situation, man. The worst part of this is the fact that like Trey Lance could not have been worse than this. As bad as we talk about Trey Lance, there is no way he could throw 3 interceptions in a game. And I guarantee you, A, he's not running out of the back of the end zone. And B, he's hitting at least one impactful throw a game. He did it in the first 2 games he played, even though he barely played at all in the second one. Like he hits better throws than Jimmy. And it's terrible. I feel bad for 49er fans for hyping up this quarterback that they traded so much to like go get to move up like not that much to go get Trey Lance. I hyped him up, said he might be an MVP candidate this year. And then to have it not even be that he crashes and burns, just the fact that he doesn't even really get the chance because of his injury. I feel really bad for 49er fans. And if they're terrible this year, they don't even have their draft pick. So.
Oh my gosh. And they're going to give it to the Dolphins who had to forfeit theirs, which is so funny.
Yeah, Miami still gets a draft pick unless they find that something happened in this Tua investigation that warrants losing a first-round pick. Or the Christian Wilkins grabbing Josh Allen investigation. We're under like 5 investigations right now.
Who would have thought the Dolphins would turn into like the NFL's bad boys?
We're the new Patriots. We have to get a new investigation every offseason.
Except it's every
the Patriot
week.
The Patriot way is in Miami finally.
Oh, Jesus.
This is what we meant when we hired Brian Flores.
I hate that. This is what we meant when we hired. All right, we gotta move on.
I can't.
Oh my gosh,
it's getting bad.
This is not okay. This is how this podcast was meant to be. This is what it was created for. Moments like that, just so everyone's clear. You're not getting incredible analysis. You're getting the best analysis, but in ways like that. We should just drop that as a trailer. That was great. All right,
fantastic.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about any of these games. Oh, we have to talk about the Jaguars. Hold on. Never mind. I forgot we skipped over them.
Trevor Lawrence is that guy.
He looks good, bro.
I feel like a genius because last week I put up a TikTok that was like Trevor Lawrence is on the verge of breaking out. And then this week he just annihilates the Chargers. Who, by the way, their defense, they signed so many guys, and it's still bad.
So bad.
It's not.
They have a defensive-minded head coach, which makes it so much funnier. Madden, their offensive coordinator, is garbage. Horrible. I get it. Like, you're missing some pieces on offense, right?
Yeah.
But you're just going to refuse to use
the pieces you have.
You just 4 rushes for Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler has
receptions. But like,
okay, yeah. I mean, I understand you're in passing game situations, but at the same time, there was a large portion of that game, like well into the third quarter, where you were still in the game and still could have run the ball, and they only ran the ball with Eckler 4 times. It's malpractice what's going on with Joe Lombardi. Like, I understand that he is not a I understand that's not all on him, and like the personnel around Herbert is not honestly good enough for his skill set, even though they have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Has Trevon Walker been good? Do we know? Like, has anyone been paying attention to him, or is he the most irrelevant first overall pick of all time?
Considering I keep seeing that people are like Trent Baalke for executive of the year, I would assume that that's not only for Christian Kirk. I think Trayvon Walker's been doing really well. It's the Jaguars, and they're
really.
gonna have.
He has
What?
8 tackles, 8 combined tackles, 1 sack, and 1 pick.
And the sack and the pick came against Carson Wentz, didn't they?
Yeah. And so did 4
They
of the
don't even
tackles.
count.
So against people who aren't Carson Wentz, he has 2 tackles. Or no, 4 tackles. That's like he hasn't been good. He might be getting a lot of pressure. I don't watch the Jaguars.
We need to look more. Yeah, it's the Jaguars, honestly, even though they're
Nobody
playing
cares.
outstanding. Like, we haven't
still
seen
don't
enough of their
care.
games. They will, if they go out and aren't they playing the Eagles this week?
I think so. I'm not
If
positive.
they go out and beat the Eagles or even compete with the Eagles, then apparently
I'll pay attention.
they'll jump the best team in the power rankings right now. I think every power ranking has the Eagles at 1, which is probably
they have the Dolphins.
Beautiful. I can't believe it. I mean, we're done for because of that, but it's fine.
We're going to be doing a new segment here. We're going to be drafting the quarterbacks from the 2021 and 2020 draft classes. So I'm going to have the first pick. Non-snake. We're just doing regular straight-up draft. I'm going to go first. I'm going Justin Herbert.
All right. I mean, the expected first pick, it's Justin Herbert. He's been the best quarterback over these, now he's in his 3rd season. But now you would think that this would have been easily Joe Burrow. But now a lot of things have happened. Do I go Jalen Hurts? Do I go Tua? Do I go Burrow? Do I go Trevor Lawrence? But I think I might have to display the slightest bit of bias here. I'm going Tua with my second pick.
All right. So we're moving on to the third pick, my second pick. I've already won. I'm going Jalen Hurts. I win. It's over.
Oh, okay.
We're doing current. We're doing current.
You win with current, but I was thinking as well with how they're going to develop. And I'm
thinking this season, so.
Well, my strategy is going to be different from yours. I'm taking Trevor Lawrence.
All right. That I have Joe Burrow.
All right. I see it.
My team's pretty stacked, I'm not going to lie.
Your team's pretty stacked until Tua and Trevor Lawrence are the MVP 1 and 2 at the end of the season.
Not going to happen, buddy. It's going to be Hurts 1 and 2.
Now this gets weird because those were the clear top 5.
Yeah, and now you have 6.
Well, I think we know who I'm taking at 6. I'm taking the man who I still believe in, Trey Lance.
Yeah, so now I have the challenge, if we're honest. This is not a fun pick to have. However, it only gets worse for you. So I think he's looked really bad. So I think I'm going to go with – I can't go with Zach Wilson because I haven't seen him this year. So I'm taking Justin Fields.
Oh man,
that's my
horrendous. 4. This
back half is bad. Yeah.
So this is this is my 4 now.
Oh, yeah. God. You still have to take 2. I only have to take 1.
I think I'm gonna go. I think we're taking a high ceiling player here who has played one NFL game.
Oh, don't do this.
I'm doing it with my 4th pick just because there's the smallest chance.
No, there's no chance.
There is the smallest chance that if Aaron Rodgers has to go back and decides that he's going to retire after his team has completely let him down, that Jordan Love, my next pick, Jordan Love, is going to step in for him. I'm taking Jordan Love with my 4th pick.
All right, so I have Zach Wilson and I win because I have all starters and you have a backup. I win.
Okay, fine. But my last pick, I'm going to take.
He's going to take Davis Mills.
I'm taking Davis Mills because I'm not touching Mac Jones and Fraudston.
Fronston.
I'm not taking Mac Jones. I'm taking Davis Mills.
All right, so yeah, I very clearly won that. Maybe we
You
shouldn't.
destroyed probably. Still, I'm taking. Hey, Trevor Lawrence might be the best quarterback here by the end of the year.
All right, well, I just absolutely smoked Tyler in that, so we're gonna move on to hot takes. First up from David Ballentine, the Steelers should start Kenny Pickett. Not a hot take.
Yeah, at this point, it's
The
obvious. Mitch
yeah,
Trubisky is not it, and he hasn't been for 5-6 years now. And it's like, if you're winning, it's fine, but this is not a team that is going to consistently win games. They just lost to the Browns on prime time without their starting quarterback. It's time to make a change. And it's not like your offensive line, which is the biggest weakness of your team, is going to get any better between now and when you start Kenny Pickett if you do it this year at all. If you do it next year, maybe, but Kenny Pickett's supposed to be the pro-ready guy. He's like 23 already. You got to start him at some point, and I feel like now's the time.
I legitimately think that they have a better chance to win with Kenny Pickett. And I know he's completely unproven, and we have no frame of work to reference that from. But he was like the guy. Like there was not another quarterback taken for a long time after him in this draft. So you have to show that like you took him for a reason, and you could have just waited another year if you weren't going to play him and drafted literally anyone else because you knew you were going to be bad. So it was you have to play him just to just because
Exactly,
you
and see what you've got. Because he's not going to improve drastically. This isn't a guy with some like crazy arm strength that's like going to be a project quarterback. This isn't somebody who's going to be bad for multiple years and then suddenly be insane. Like you have to see what you have, even if you're not confident in what it is.
All right, let's move on to Bar of Soap 32. What a name. At this point in time, Geno Smith is better than Russell Wilson. Well, the Seahawks have lost 2 straight games, I believe. And Russell Wilson and his boys have won 2 straight. So I don't know how I feel about that right now because
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, yeah. Well, first off, never say that again. Second off, no, he's not better than Russell Wilson. I understand that Russell Wilson is not anywhere near where he once was, but we've kind of known this for a while, and it just seems that it's kind of reaching the average football population, like now that isn't like, watching every single like game and like looking at how Russell Wilson is performing. It seems that he's just very inconsistent. The not being able to attack the middle of the field consistently is catching up to him. But he's definitely not worse than Geno Smith. He's still in the top half of the league's quarterbacks. He might not be elite anymore. He might not even be in the top 10, but he's not worse than Geno Smith, who did not have an opportunity to start. And it's not because he deserved it. He did not deserve to start for a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, Geno's just throwing the ball 40 plus times a game since that, like,
except for the game against Russell Wilson. Every game he's thrown 40 plus. So
exactly.
He's going to have inflated stats. It's funny because they're letting Geno cook, but they wouldn't let Russ cook. And yeah, I think that's all we have for hot takes. Thank you for joining us. Leave a like, review, comment, whatever platform you're listening on. Make sure to follow us, subscribe. However you listen, however you watch, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Join the chalkboard because that's how you can get your hot takes in the video. And it's a lot of fun. We put out some cool stuff in there this week. So, thank you guys so much for the support, and we'll see you next week.